Now, I'm sure you guys are fully aware, but Master Duel has become arguably one of the highest played Yu-Gi-Oh servers of all time. Since its inception on January 19th, 2022, Master Duel has become the premier server for players and collectors to either get back into the competitive scene or play Yu-Gi-Oh just for fun. However, in recent times, Master Duel hasn't really been the same. And the reason for it is very simple. Players and collectors all over the world are slowly but surely starting to uninstall Master Duel and canceling their Master Duel accounts. But why is that? The answer is simple. The answer is simple. It is because of the current Master Duel meta. Now, interestingly enough, as of right now, the meta on Master Duel is probably by far the craziest meta we've ever had in a very long time. The meta for Master Duel is literally either Exodia, Voiceless Voice, Malice, or Riziel. It is one of those four, but we've also seen as well other decks on Master Duel that have become very potent to combat against, and that one deck, and one of those decks in particular is Ice Barrier, with the addition of the new synchro that we got in the TCG not that long ago. And that Ice Barrier card is actually a very powerful one at that, which I will bring up on my Master Duel myself. So I'm gonna go on Master Duel right now, and I'm gonna show you guys really quickly what that card is. And if I'm being honest, the current meta on Master Duel is absolutely horrendous. Like, it is just crazy. So let's see. Ice Barrier. So there are actually two cards that get played a lot on Master Duel. The first one is Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Zoom in a little bit for you guys to see, covering my face unfortunately, but that's okay. And this card's effects read as follow. When this card is synchro summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls, which I believe they do. Which I believe in it that is considered targeting, which is very funny. The other effect reads if this synchro summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon a Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier from your extra deck or grave. Its attack becomes 3,300. Then have the attack of any face-up monster your opponent currently controls, and negate their effects. It literally is Dark Ruler No More on steroids. The other one that I talked about is Lancia, Ancestral Dragon of the Ice Mountain. This is the card that I mentioned that is a menace on Master Duel because of its effect. And it just requires a water tuner and one or more non-tuners. So it is a literal generic water synchro for any water deck in the format, which is nasty. The effects read as follow. Once per chain, if your opponent special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can special summon one Ice Barrier monster from your hand, deck, extra deck, or grave. Then you can change one attack position monster your opponent controls to defense. You can only use this effect once per turn, up to twice per turn. If this face-up synchro summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one Ice Barrier Synchro from your extra deck, which is treated as a synchro summon. So it literally is a double. It is literally a double block attack on steroids with that card. And again, Ice Barrier has become probably one of the highest. It's become probably one of the most unanticipated decks in the format on Master Duel because of that card, and also because of another card that I believe banishes your cards instead of sending them to the graveyard. Excuse me, I don't remember what that deck what that card was, but literally that's what it can do. Malice on the other hand is just nasty. It is a nasty deck to combat against. There aren't a whole lot of cards in the meta that can stop Malice, or at the very least stall the deck for at least like 2 or 3 turns at best. There aren't a whole lot of them. In fact, the only card that can stop Malice in its tracks is Artifact Lancia, because Lancia stops cards from being banished. So if your opponent activates excuse me, if your opponent activates Gold Sark and they banish Malice Dormouse, then you chain Lancia resolves. Gold Sark doesn't. It literally does not. It doesn't resolve because it gets banished, because with Gold Sark you have to banish the card, and with Lancia you're not allowed to banish. So that's like the only way that Malice could be stopped. With Raziel, even if you activate Nibiru, it doesn't matter. The deck will still be able to combo, and you still lose either way. So you would literally have to use up every hand trap under the sun to prevent your opponent from comboing off with Raziel. And the funny thing is that if you open with I believe it's exit Raziel. Is it exit or is it ice? I think it's ice. If you open with ice Raziel, you essentially have full combo. But if you have a way to search out ice or exit Raziel, it's still basically one of those cards, and you essentially have full combo. What was the now, and as far as the other deck goes, Voiceless Voice, Low is by far the best combo starter you could ever think of. Like, it is such a very powerful card. Being able to just open with that and prevent your voiceless voice cards from being popped is just wild. It is just absolutely wild. Now, as far as Exodia goes, again, anytime you see the opener of Millennium Ankh, you know damn well it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. And in my opinion, those decks right there are the reason why players all over the world are literally uninstalling Master Duel, and they've been doing that ever since those decks were first introduced to Master Duel. Not that literally just a few short months ago. And from what I understand, apparently more than 5,000 people have already started to uninstall Master Duel. But the question is, how can that be stopped? How can that be prevented? Well, there's only one way to prevent people from uninstalling Master Duel, and that is the Master Duel ban list. Now, I will admit, excuse me, I will admit that Master Duel has become a very complex game to play, and I would know because I've played decks like Yubel. I've played decks like Dark Magician, Dark World, Danger, Dark World Resonator. I've played Cyber Dragon. I've played Battling Boxer, Dark Magician. I mentioned DDDs, Black Wings, Sharks. Literally, those are some of the decks that I have on my as some of the on my Master Duel deck lists, if you will. And out of every single one of them, only 6 of them have gotten me farther than Plat 5, and I believe it's Blackwing, Battling Boxer, Dark Magician, and Yubel, and Numeron, because I've been playing the Numeron deck as well, and it's not too bad. I mean, the deck can literally FTK your opponent depending on what deck you're up against. Like if you're up against Ryziel and you're able to manipulate the board to your advantage by using cards like Maxi and cards like Drone Lockbird and perhaps like maybe Ghost Bell, you essentially have a way to kaiju your opponent's Ryziel detonator, and you're able to just pop off from there, which is very insane. But the ban list definitely needs to be fixed up. But the question is, with all four with all those decks, what cards need to get hit? Well, let's start with the Ice Barrier deck, and probably the best card in the deck right now is Lancia, and I believe Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Those two cards together on board is a menace. Like they can literally stop your opponent from doing anything. It can stop your opponent from attacking if they chose to use Lancia's position effect during the battle phase. It can prevent you from taking a shit ton of damage depending on what deck you are playing, of course. But with Trishula Zero Dragon, it literally acts as a triple compulse. It is a literal triple compulse where they bounce 3 of your cards back to your hand, and you literally don't have a way to put them back on board unless if you have your deck's combo starter, which 9 times out of 10 the combo starter is usually a 2 of and not a 3 of, which is kind of shitty in my opinion. So as far as the Ice Barrier deck goes, those 2 cards plus the other card that I mentioned definitely need to get hit with the next ban list. Now, as far as Malice goes, there are 4 cards in the deck that do need to get hit. First up is obviously Malice Dormouse. Dormouse is literally the combo starter that you need to go into that can help you link climb into Firewall Dragon Singularity, which Singularity is just nasty. Being able to gain a shit ton of attack with using Singularity's effect is absolutely horrendous. Then there's also red red ransom and the other link 3. So out of all the cards in the deck, it should be Gold Sark. It should be Gold Sark, red ransom, Crystal Heart, I believe it's called, um, Singularity, and Dormouse. Those are the 5 cards that either need to get banned or at least get limited to 1. Because in my opinion, I feel like if they banned Gold Sark, or actually, yeah, 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 ban Gold Sark, ban Dormouse, limit the 2 Link 3s, and ban ban Singularity, the deck would still be able to play, but it wouldn't be as much of a powerful deck as it is now. Now, as far as voiceless voice goes, I mean there are so many. I mean there are so many cards in the deck that should get hit. Definitely low. Low definitely needs to get limited to 1. Pre-preparation rights should also should get banned as well. Um, all of the ritual monster, all the ritual spells and the ritual monsters for the deck definitely need to get limited to 1. And if that were to happen, the deck would still be able to play, but the amount of plays you would be able to make would not be as impactful as they are now. And as far as the Exodia deck, let's be real. Exodia, the Forbidden One, the 5 pieces of Exodia, they're perfectly fine in 1. They're perfectly fine. I mean, it's been that way, not just on Master Duel, but in the TCG for well over 2 decades. It's no surprise there. The one card that needs to get limited to 1 is Millennium Ankh. But the funny thing is that I believe people only use 1 copy. So the only way that the deck could be stopped is if the deck got is if that card got banned. If it got banned, then people would have to literally use polymerization to fuse all 5 pieces of Exodia to summon out the Exodia fusion, to which you would literally need to have 3 pieces in hand, 2 pieces on board, and you have a way to summon out the Exodia fusion. And the only way that you'd be able to get those cards back in your hand is if you activated is if you had oh my god, what's that one card? Oh my god, I cannot think of the card. It bounces all I believe it bounces up to 5 vanillas, up to 5 monsters back into your hand. I think from grave. I don't remember that card, but that card is you play that card, you bounce all 5 pieces of Exodia to your hand, and you basically win either way. But I also feel like as well, the fusion monster should also get limited to 1 at best. Is it possible? Absolutely, 100%. I feel like that's like the only way that people can reinstall Master Duel, is if Konami did exactly that. If they banned and limited all those cards, and potentially brought back a couple, maybe the meta would still be very useful in my opinion. But let's be real, I really don't think that's ever going to happen because Konami has had a tendency to ban cards that never should have been banned in the first place, limited cards that never should have been limited, and they've taken cards off the ban list that never should have been, that never should see the light of day on Master Duel. They've had a tendency to do that, but if Konami were to take these cards that I just mentioned and ban them, or potentially limit them to one, now players have to find a new flavor of the month to use against everyone else that is trying to play Master Duel. But will it happen? Who knows? Only time will tell. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more Yu-Gi-Oh topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.